What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another video here on Halloween. This is the final video for today for Halloween, and I am very excited for this one because this is the Nightmare on Elm Street 2 Freddy's Revenge Neca figure, and I am thrilled to actually get another Freddy. Is this Freddy going to be an upgrade from my new Nightmare? I guess we're gonna find out, so let's stay tuned. But first, of course, before we start this video, like, subscribe. If you don't, that's totally fine, I get it. But it would be appreciated if you did. Also, down in the description below, if you're curious, I have my Instagrams down there, so you can take a look at those as well. So, this figure, I wasn't sure what Freddy to get, because Freddy figures are so hard to come by, and here's the box art if you want to look at those while I'm talking. Freddy figures are so hard to come by because they're older figures. I don't believe there's been a new Freddy figure in a while, and so far all the ones that I've looked at are kind of mid. This one's from 2018. This is an old figure, but it does look good, and I got it because it looked good, and it's from a scene that I remember fondly, and that's the pool scene from Freddy 2. I will say though, this background though absolutely sucks. I really don't like it. I think I'm going to take it out. Yeah, there it is. This is probably the worst background ever. I just don't like it. It's just such a blurry mess of characters in the background moving around and whatever the hell that is. I have no idea what that is. That's just it's there. It's one of the worst like backdrops. So I'm using a different backdrop for when we look at the figure, and it's going to be the black and white Wolfman's. Why? I don't know. It just looks good. But anyways, as I was saying, Freddy figures are so hard to come by. And speaking of hard to come by, where's my Freddy? Well, he's kind of in the shop right now. First of all, I want to take a look at these head sculpts. These head sculpts look great. They are sculpted nicely, and I really do like them. The problem with these head sculpts, though, is the paint. I don't care for the paint that much. And it could be accurate to Freddy 2, but there is a big problem with them, and yeah, I will get into it in a little bit. I did get this figure used on Makari, so yeah, we're getting there. But looking at these head sculpts on their own without any modifications to them, because I kind of do mod it a little bit, they look great. I love the sculpting of the heads. This one in particular, the word that I cannot say to save my life. This one specifically, I do like because of the head. Now, this one gave me the most problems, and you can definitely see there's a lot of paint missing on this figure, and there it goes, his head. There's a lot of paint missing on this figure. Why? Well, there's a big issue with these figures, and that is due to their, I guess, to wherever they were stored at. Since I got these figures used, these heads look great, but I don't care for the paint. I don't like the brown paint that they use, but these are also super sticky. I don't know what it is about them. I have tried everything. I've tried soaking them. I tried using soap. I tried using baking soda. I tried every trick in the book to get them unsticky. Nothing worked. I promise you, nothing worked. And I resorted to just scrubbing, and the paint just chipped off, and it's still sticky, and it's even coming off on my hands as we speak. I really wanted to like this figure. As soon as I got it out of the box, I felt it, and I was just so sad because I want a Freddy figure that is on par with my Leatherface and Jason and Michael. I want I want Freddy to be perfect. Even the hands were sticky too. The gloved hand, that was also sticky. It was not fun. It was not a fun first impression, especially when I want to upgrade my Freddy figure. I was just disappointed, and I don't think that's the fault of the figure. I think that's just, it was stored for maybe a long time and not in a good spot, so over time it just became sticky or something. I don't know. I really don't know the issue. Even the neck part here is sticky. So I decided to do the only optional thing, and that was to paint them. I went to town on these head sculpts, and I am honestly very proud of my work. Now, it's not completely finished. This one's kind of like the first part. This one I wanted to do off camera just so I can make sure I had it down. This next head sculpt is what we're going to be focusing on, and what I wanted to kind of capture was the McFarlane Freddy. This McFarlane Freddy, it has one of my favorite head sculpts of any Freddy Krueger figure I have ever seen before. I don't know what it is, but it's just so iconic to me. It has become just a classic figure because it's so good, and this was the first figure. This figure alone got me into Freddy Krueger, and it's sad that I can't see other head sculpts like that, but we're gonna try our best to do something here with this figure to make it at least similar to that head sculpt. Maybe it's not perfect, maybe I don't even finish the paint job in this video, but I want it to be at least suitable for today's video, and I want it to look just as good, if not better, than those head sculpts. So we're gonna get straight into this. So the first thing that I did with the head sculpt was I did just paint it red with some dry brushing. That's kind of like the only thing that you have to do with these figures. Paint it red, add some dry brushing, and you're good to go. Now, the head sculpt that I did, I tried my best to emulate the colors, which is mostly just a tan. It didn't work out, but I did want to highlight those green eyes. The McFarlane figure has green eyes, so I kind of wanted to copy that. I don't think I like that, so I might go back to it after the video, but that's kind of what I wanted to emulate just a little bit. I also darkened the eyes a little bit too, and made the scarring, the red parts, have a little bit of black in them to make them look like it's like dried blood or something. I also did the neck too, so let me show you the process while I'm losing my breath of how I did this head sculpt. The first thing that I did was I completely painted this figure's head red. That was the first thing that I did. First I scrubbed it and cleaned it, but first of all I painted it red. Then I took a towel and I just wiped away the excess, and this is what was left. Perfect start. It gets into the cracks and the nooks and crannies of the scarring, but leaves the skin detail. I then added a little bit of a tan mixed with like a brown and a pink, and I dry brushed that a little bit on the figure, which kind of came out to looking like this head sculpt, but it still looks a little too pink, so I might have to go over it with a little less pink in my paint. But overall, I think it looks great. It looks pretty fire. And then I painted in each individual scarring with a tiny paintbrush with the red that I used to coat the paint in the first place. And that looks beautiful. And you saw the side-by-side with the non-painted scarring parts and the painted scarring parts. So I hope that makes sense. It makes sense in my head saying it, but I hope it makes sense seeing it. You know what I mean? Basically, it's a little bit of back and forth with this, adding a little bit of paint into the scarring with the bright red, which looks great, and then dabbing it with a little bit of the kind of tan color to, bring back those highlights if you mess those up. It looks so much better than the meatball that we saw before. I definitely think so. I think it looks so good. I am very happy with what it looks like. I hope you guys are too. I kind of like this head sculpt more than the other one. The one on the right I don't like as much. I need to fix that up. But we came a long way from just looking like a meatball to looking like an actual Freddy figure. Like, you can't tell me that mine doesn't look better. I mean, if you like the Neca one, that's totally fine. I get it. But I'm very happy with how the head sculpt looks on my painted ones, besides the meatball looking one is what I'm going to call it. Why am I putting so much time and thought into these figures? At least this Freddy figure. I love Freddy Krueger. Freddy Krueger is one of my favorites. Usually it's Leatherface. I do like Leatherface, but Freddy Krueger is my number one. I love Freddy. I almost got to meet Freddy in 2014 at the Tulsa Comic Con. Freddy's just been my favorite. Seeing that McFarlane figure, that was my father's, and seeing that just spiral my obsession with Freddy. The first ever clip I saw of Freddy was Wes Craven's New Nightmare when he kills the babysitter in front of Dylan, and a couple clips later I got to the pool scene in Nightmare 2. Beautiful scenes. Those are my two favorite scenes, and they have stuck with me all these years later, and they just made me obsessed with Freddy. So that's why I love Freddy so much. So that's why I'm trying my best to make this Freddy look good. What doesn't look good is these fucking dogs. I don't like these dogs at all. They look absolutely horrendous. Why they were in the movie in the first place? No clue. I don't even know what their purpose was. They were like there for like 3 seconds. I look away and they're gone. Like, I don't even know. They have some pretty decent posability at the head, but I fucking hate these things. Get these things out of the way. I do not like them. Freddy is what I'm here for. And having all the pieces together with the nice repaint, I love it. It looks so cool. I would love to do a little bit more repainting on this figure, mostly with the body and maybe the hat too, and a little bit of fixing up on the face. But the sculpting and a little bit of the painting too, mostly the painting, there's just some weathering I want to do, is fantastic. I am very happy with this Freddy. I love New Nightmare, and I would love it if NECA made a New Nightmare Freddy Krueger figure, especially in the ultimate form. That would be my dream figure, next to like Sienna and everybody else, but that is my top figure right there. And since the New Nightmare figure I do have is a little outdated, I opted to go for a classic Freddy, and I wanted part 2 because part 2 was another one of my like kind of childhood first, things that I've seen of Freddy, and this figure looks great. The claw looks so good. The naked claw that the other hand looks so good too. I need a little bit of a more paint job on this. I would love to redo the claw just a little bit, just to mess it up to how I want it to be. The hat I would love to darken too. This is the only amount of accessories he comes with. He comes with 3 heads, 2 hands, and the flame piece. This hand I don't necessarily care for. I think it's cool that we got it. It is from the scene where he pops out of the main character from part 2. I don't remember his name, but it looks great. I love it. It's a great concept. And I could almost make a bone claw with this, but I don't really want to. Also, like, this pinky likes to bend out of place a little bit, so yeah, that's kind of fun. But it's not bad. It's just not my favorite. I don't really care for it too much. I don't think I'd ever use it, but it does look super cool. I am happy that we got it. We do also have the glove. The glove looks so good. I love how the glove is positioned. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. I love the sculpting of it. The main part that was sticky was the kind of palm, because they used a lot of gloss with that. Yeah, it was kind of a mess, but repainting that got rid of the stickiness and cleaning it up a bit, so that was good. The head sculpts look way more better because it highlights a little bit more of the burn tissue and the scarring, and I overall love what I did with the paint. I would like to go back and do those eyes, but everything else, honestly, I'm pretty happy with. And if it does look like shit, let me know in the comments below, because I would kind of like to know if I did okay or not. This was like my first time ever painting a Freddy Krueger, and I thought this was definitely the best way to do it. And yeah, if you have any other techniques, I would definitely love to know. This head sculpt is a little bit more of my favorite, and there's this stupid little fuzz on his head that got in with the paint, I guess, so I gotta like stupidly take this stupid thing out. Okay, there we go. I like this head sculpt a little bit more because the scarring is not as crazy, but it's still there. I don't know, if you kind of compare the two, this one is a little bit more lighter on the red, but it's still heavy in the cracks and stuff, so I really like this head sculpt a lot more. I think that this head sculpt is great. This one I might use a little bit more, or I'll try to emulate this kind of paintwork on the regular head sculpt, or the previous head sculpt, basically. This head sculpt, though, I really like, because I added a lot of blood. There's a tiny bit of paint that's smeared off, but the brain looks so good. I love the scarring that I did on the paintwork. The overall sculpt of this head sculpt is great. I need to do the tongue and the teeth. I think that's the last thing I didn't do, but everything else I'm so happy with. And I love the blood effects that I use for the head. And when you put the hat on, you don't even notice the brain. So if you did put the hat on, it just looks like he's yelling. So that's awesome. The next accessory that he does come with is the flame effect piece, which I was kind of confused at first because it looks great, but when you turn it around, like, where am I supposed to put it? But then, like, instantly it came to me, is this a magnet? and I tested it out. I placed it right on the back of the figure, and it is a magnet. It's a kind of shit magnet. It's not that strong, but it's a magnet that will stay when you pose him with it. And you can emulate that scene where he just like, "You're all my children now." I don't know why I made him sound like that. I am so I can't Freddy that well, but you can emulate that scene. That's so good. Taking off the hat, we can take a look at his posability. He can barely look up. He can kind of look down. It's not that good of a posability. It's not up to what they're doing nowadays, but it's still okay. He can move his arm out like this. He can do a full rotation, has a elbow swivel, has a pretty decent bend at the elbow. Wish it was a double jointed elbow. I think that would have been cool. At the hand, there is a ball joint. It's very limited though, but you can swivel it around and kind of go up and down, side to side, so it can work pretty well, especially if you get it, worked out a little bit more. Has some nice swivel, has a pretty decent crunch, and arching back some side to side. Legs can spread, can go out that far, can go back pretty far. Has a nice little thigh swivel going on there. Has a swivel at the knee, a pretty decent bend at the knee. Barely any up and down or pivots at the foot. That's like the biggest issue. But overall, I would say posability for this guy is surprisingly good. Like, it's way better than what New Nightmares was, 100%. I can definitely get him into some more dynamic poses and some poses that require a little bit more stretchiness of the joints than New Nightmare could ever give me, especially in the knee area. And I just think that having him next to Jason really made me just love this figure even more, because this just looks so cool. I am so happy with this look right here. Again, I would love a New Nightmare, but I would say this is a pretty good update to the New Nightmare figure that I have. I really like the way this looks, and here's a little bit of fun with Ash here and Jason and Freddy. A thing that could have been, but sad that it wasn't. It would have been really fun. I am a big fan of this new figure. Again, I am a big fan of the new Nightmare Freddy. I love this figure to death. It's a figure that I wish was an ultimate, and maybe one day it will be, but I'm just hoping before I die at least that we get an ultimate New Nightmare figure. And here are the 3 Freddy figures I own, the middle being a classic in my collection, one of my dad's figures, and then my New Nightmare figure, which I also love, and my new Freddy from part 2 that I do love. I think all these figures are not perfect. I'm still waiting for that perfect figure like all the other Mount Rushmore horror characters that I got. But so far these guys have a special place in my heart. And so far I have my Mount Rushmore here with Jason, Michael, Leatherface, and Freddy. Freddy being the weak one out, but still great. And Ash tried to get in the shot here. Great figure. I think that I'm not going to knock the stickiness as a problem with the figure. I'm going to suggest that was something to do with the way he was stored. So I think as a whole, he doesn't come with that much accessories, which sucks. I would have loved to see some extra hands, some maybe extra different poses for the gloved hands. The head sculpts are pretty good, and I really do like the flame effect piece. I think that's awesome. But yeah, just some extra hands, like especially the gloved hand. I would have loved to see like a spread out hand. Maybe I can go on Macari and find some other ones, and hopefully they're compatible with this part 2 one. But I think overall this figure deserves, I would say, a 3.9 out of 5. It's still a fun figure, and it's so much fun to mess around with, and he looks so good next to Jason and all the other horror figures, and is an upgrade to my from my New Nightmare Freddy that I got forever ago. But he's not perfect. He has issues, and he comes with those stupid ass dogs. I do not like those dogs, and those those are negative points right there. I hate those. But overall, it's a fun figure on its own, and I do like him. But that is it. that is it for this review, and I am thrilled. It was fun to just mess around with this figure and repaint him. I did complain a little bit about repainting him because I just wanted a perfect Freddy, but he's a lot better than the bootleg. You guys remember the bootleg figure that I got forever ago? And that was awful. That was a horrible figure. So I'm so glad. I was like on the fence if this was even real or not, but I'm so glad. I think he is. If he isn't, then he's pretty good for being a bootleg, but I think that this is a real figure. He just has a little bit of issues. He was made a long time ago, but he's still a fun figure, and one of these days I will get the perfect Freddy. I already got the perfect Leatherface. I have my 2018 Michael Myers, which I feel is perfect to me. I have, Jason Part 7, perfect. I love that figure, and now I'm looking for Freddy, and so far this is an upgrade. Still not my favorite, and I'm willing to get a new one whenever they come out with. Since Robert Englund got his star on the Walk of Fame, so congratulations to Robert Englund. Maybe they might make a new Freddy. Maybe. Wes Craven's New Nightmare. Anyways, that's it for this video. I hope you guys had a happy Halloween. I love you, love your show. Take care, and I will see you guys in the next video.